Hey, this is our third ever episode of the Child Safety Resource, and we're here with Jessica Curtis. Jessica is the founder of the Barbara Parker Foundation, and she's also the vice president, I believe, of the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona. And she's an all-around awesome person and water safety advocate. Is there anything I missed?
And I'm also a swim instructor at Swim Kids USA now.
Perfect. You broke up a little bit. Say that one more time.
I said I'm also an instructor at Swim Kids USA now, Arizona.
Perfect. All right. So if you don't mind, can you give us kind of your superhero origin story of kind of how you guys started and how you got involved in what you do now, and kind of what led you to where you are at this point?
In June 29th, 2013, our son had just bought our house and only been living in our house for 3 weeks. And we had some landscapers over that. They had left my pool gate propped open. I paid them earlier that day because we were going to go to a fireworks show that evening. And so I wanted to just be done with them. And Parker was taking a nap, and I went to go get ready. And he woke up, and I turned my alarms off because I didn't want him to get up of hearing the landscapers going in and out of the guest house. So while I was getting dressed, Parker got out of the house and went to the pool. And of course, the pool was the last place I checked. When I was looking for him, I finally looked at the pool, and the pool was rippling. And I ran over to the pool, and I was like, no way, that's not happening. And looked down, and Parker was at the bottom of the pool. And I jumped in, got him out, and began him when my 8-year-old daughter called 911. We just did the best we could until the paramedics came, and they rushed Parker off to the hospital, and he lived for 5 days, and then we finally donated him after they'd pronounced him brain dead. So he lives on in 2 other babies and another woman as well.
Gotcha. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's terrible, and unfortunately I hear those stories way too often.
Yes, we do. It happens a lot.
Well,
300 families are affected.
300 times a year or so. Plus all of the families who experience a non-fatal drowning that result in some kind of brain injury. So what does the name? I know obviously I get the Parker part. What is the Barbara part of the Barbara Parker Foundation?
Barbara was my husband's best friend's mom, and she was a veteran, and she passed away the same year that Parker did. So in her honor, we want to do housing for veterans, give them clothes, food, whatever we can as well for veterans, just in honor of her as well. So we kind of combined both of them.
Gotcha. Okay. And so what is the Barbara Parker Foundation doing right now?
I haven't done too much with the Barbara Parker Foundation here lately. Mm-hmm. It's been with being with the Drowning Prevention Coalition and being the vice president. I've kind of been going with that more, but they're still involved with everything. We've started a support group for families in Arizona. We have done a lot with just spreading water safety awareness. I have been trying to find some way to get pool fences. It's unfortunately very hard. That's something that I want the Barbara Parker Foundation to do, is build pool fences for families who need assistance with it. It's just a point of finding people that really want to do that and are willing to offer their time and their fences. That's
I
been kind of
happen
my setback.
I happen to know a pool fence company, so we could probably figure that out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, and we have a lifesaver dealer in Arizona who donates pool fences all the time.
Okay,
Yeah, Melissa actually
that would be great. Yeah, 'cause
used him for a donation fence a couple months ago.
okay.
Melissa Sutton.
Oh,
So
okay, yes, I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
But
So what work is the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona doing? Because
do what? I'm sorry.
the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona.
Yes.
It seems like you are one of the bigger local drowning prevention coalitions. What are you guys up to? It seems like you almost expand outside of Arizona.
Yeah, we do. We've gone all over, and we've gotten other families from other um, towns, other states, just helping families cope and hoping that we can help them find and showing that even though we've suffered this horrendous tragedy, that I know that our children would never want us to live in vain. So something to just kind of let these families know that we're not alone, and there's lots of families that feel the same way and go through the same thing, and we're right by their side no matter what.
Does the Drowning Prevention Coalition do any events or publish any literature? Okay. What kind of events do you guys do?
We have our big one coming up this weekend, Squaw Peak, and that's one of our biggest ones, and it's probably one of the longest ones. But we also have our Verano Summer events all summer long.
So the one this weekend, what is it?
It's at Squaw Peak. It's called Getting to the Point of Water Safety, and it's just at the resort's very, very gracious to open up their swimming pool and just let everybody come in for free and enjoy a day of swimming while learning water safety. So it's a really neat event, and a lot of the mascots for the sports teams here in Arizona come and play with the kids, and the firefighters bring their trucks and the helicopters. It's just the kids love it when they get to see all of that stuff, and we give away free life jackets too. So that's a huge thing, especially when kids show up to the pool with water wings. It's like that's something that we try to steer families away from. Yeah. So it's nice when they get a free life jacket. Then we also do the Verano Sano events, and that's with SRP, and we go around to all of the community pools all summer long, and we just talk about water safety while they're having their open swim, and we just sit there and have fun with them. We try to make it anyway fun for the kids, and other people earn their boost too. So it's just nice for while they're having fun, the people can learn something as well. And a lot of people don't know these things, and when they come up to our booth, they're just didn't know that. I'm going to change that. I'm going to do this. So it's making a difference in people's lives, I know for sure. Then we have our IPSA meetings that we go and talk to pool and spa cleaners, and we just kind of tell them, it makes them, especially when like somebody like me goes in and talks to them, makes them more passionate about it and making sure that they are closing the gates, that they are locking the gates, and they're remembering the importance of safeties while they're cleaning the pools.
So the event this weekend.
And there's another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and another thing that we're trying to get going in Arizona is the pool and spa safety checklist as well. That's where we go, and it's completely free, and we just do a safety check and tell them this is the way that they could make their pool safer, their home safer, so that way they're not missing anything, especially with people that have younger children.
Wow. So how does someone sign up for that? If they want a pool safety evaluation, what do they do to get that, make that happen?
They just email the Drowning Prevention Coalition, or they get a hold of Lori Schmidt at Scottsdale Fire Department. And she's the one, or they can contact me. And we've also been trying to get other instructors as well. So we've been training the different fire departments and different people. We've gone to Tucson and trained some people down there. So we're trying to get it as big as we can. That way people realize that we're not being mean cops or anything. We just want to help save another child's life and make sure that the pool is safe.
Absolutely. And so is the best way for people to reach you by email?
Yes. Or they can go on to Drowning Prevention Coalition's website and they can send a message there. I'll get a hold of us.
Perfect. And I just so people know, your email address is Jessica Curtis at preventdrownings.org, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So the event on Saturday, where is it going to be at?
It's at Squaw Peak Resort.
Okay.
It's in Scottsdale.
Gotcha.
So it's a really nice, fancy resort.
That's cool.
It's kind of everybody's vacation here in Arizona. It's exciting to be there. And we give away we have raffles and give away lots of prizes. Last year we gave away a Lazy Boy recliner because Lazy Boy was kind enough to donate recliners. That's the big prize. And we give away resort stays and a lot of different things. It's really neat what we do. And it really gets people involved.
That is really cool. So if somebody, what are the hours?
Let me check really sorry. I think it's from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And I've shared it on my Facebook page as well. Of course, the Drowning Prevention Coalition has too.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 1 second. I should have this pulled up.
No problem.
And of course, no, I can't find it.
You're fine.
Oh, here it is. Okay, it's from 9 to 12, May
Perfect.
12th, 2018. It's at the Paris Hilton Squaw Peak Resort.
Okay. And if do people need to sign up for it? Do they just show up? I mean, how does that work?
You can just show up and we give them a little kind of like stamp book. And in order for them to be in the raffle, they have to go around to each booth and get a stamp from each booth. And then they put it in a little box and we can pick out. We usually have one of the kids pick out a card, and then that's how they raffle. So kind of make sure that they walk around and get all the information they can.
I remember we did something similar at the National Drowning Prevention Alliance one year, where people had to walk around to get stamps for their book, from all the booths, all the different vendors.
That really works. That actually most people would, if they would do it, but they actually get to sit and talk to each different booth. So that's good. It really does work, and it really does help get the information that we want out to everybody. Because normally they would just go to a couple and then on. So we want to make sure we can get out as much information as we can.
So if you had to get information out to parents, this usually gets seen by a few thousand people, it looks like so far, which is pretty cool. What piece of water safety advice would you want people to know?
Never second guess that you can watch your child 24/7. I don't know how many times I've heard that from parents, that, or even when you hear stories on the news and stuff, everybody says that they watch their children all the time, and no mother can watch their child 24/7. Everybody has daily distractions, and just need to make sure that your house is as safe as can be, and make sure that you're putting your children in some space. Even though it doesn't drown or an adult, it reduces the risk by 88%, and that's a huge reducer. So that's just another layer of protection.
Yeah, I just put out a video on our Facebook page a few days ago, maybe about a week ago at this point, in response to all the parents that comment on our Facebook about how you don't need, a pool fence or swimming lessons, that, they always watch their kids 24 hours a day. And I said in that video, and I say it all the time, that those parents are the ones that terrify me. It's not the ones that are overly paranoid or that say they need a pool fence, that admit they're distracted. It's the ones that say, no, I'm okay because I always watch my kid. Those parents scare the crap out of me because those are the ones that are inevitably going to have something happen. And I feel like I've said this story a dozen times this week, but any parent who has a funny story about their kid getting into something they shouldn't be in, drawing on the wall, getting covered in food, whatever it is, if they had a pool and they didn't have a pool fence or some kind of layer of protection in place, they just got lucky that their kid chose, the peanut butter and not, going out to the pool. Those things only happen in a lapse of supervision. So those moms that say, no, I always watch my kid, but they also have a story of, their daughter is spreading flour all over the living room. Obviously there's a contradiction there. So yeah, I think your point is perfect.
Parenting doesn't discriminate. I'm sorry, but
no, I think your point is perfect. We need to get rid of that idea that parents always watch their children.
Yes, and a lot of people think that, it's never going to happen to me. I was that mother. I know a lot of people that I've met from Families United said the same thing. I was the mother that could never happen to me. And the sad thing is that drowning doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anybody, no matter if feel like you're the best parent in the world or just grandparents or anything. It's the sad thing that people don't realize, that it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it across the socioeconomic spectrum, from parents on the low end to super wealthy people and celebrities. It really doesn't discriminate. It can happen to literally any parent.
Yes. Sorry.
What kind of birds do you have?
Parakeets.
Nice.
My daughter wanted them, so I love her. She has birds and dogs and fish, and my house is full of animals.
How old is your daughter?
She's 12 now. She's going to be 13. And then we have Emma. She's 2, and she's going to be 3 June 21st.
Wow, congratulations.
No, thank you. And she has been in swim lessons since she was 2 months old. So it gives me the confidence that she would know what to do if she fell into a hole. And I know that it wouldn't jump with her, but it still is another thing that gives me a sense knowing that she knows how to save herself if she was to fall in the pool. She's learning how to save herself if she was to fall. Because you just can't always watch them. Everybody has daily distractions. No matter I have locks on my doors now at the very top, so she can't unlock the door. And I never turn my alarms off now. It's like, now I know. But that's another thing too, is parents, most of the parents say, I didn't know. And that's what unfortunately what happens is I didn't know. I didn't the alarms off or have the lock at the top of the door. Extra barriers around the house.
Why do you think that is? I mean, we all know about car safety, right? We know you need a car seat. We know you should never leave a gun out, right? All of these other things that hurt children, but not in the same volume that swimming pools do. More kids drown in pools than die in car accidents. But yet, for some reason, people don't seem to be as educated on water safety. Why do you think that is?
I think that's kind of a taboo, and especially with media and the way they perceive drownings. Everybody just thinks, oh, it only happens to negligent parents or things like that. That's what you see all the time. It's not something you talk about. And it's, like I said, it's hard to get the message to parents because they think that they're doing it right. It's nowhere else to go and you do yourself so many times. And it's hard when the stories get changed and media changes it, the words or things like that, and wrong information as well, especially with dry drownings and secondary drownings and things like that. And people like, oh, that's so scary, it can happen. In reality, there's no such thing as that. It's either a non-fatal drowning with injuries, a non-fatal drowning without injuries, or a fatal drowning. And I think that's just the biggest thing, is that there's miscommunication about it, and it's taboo to talk about.
Yeah, we just posted an article on our website, a little while ago about how dry drowning is not a thing, how it's not real. Secondary drowning, dry drowning, how it's kind of a made up term. Even though, there are people that have suffered injuries that they attribute to that. So can you talk a little bit about that, about the myth of dry drowning?
According to, it's been used for a long time, but doctors have always tried to steer away from that because that's just not something that can happen. It's usually after the water has gotten into their lungs, or where their larynx closes. So the water doesn't get into their lungs, but usually it causes an ammonia or chemical pneumonitis in their lungs. And that's where the complications come from. But that's when it turns into non-fatal drowning with injuries. Or you could have a non-fatal without injuries, and that could be anywhere from just swallowing some water on it getting into your stomach and vomiting, but there's no long-term damage. There's no nothing happens, but then you just don't know if it does get into lungs or something. There could be damage to their lungs because your lungs will try to fight off that water because they think it's an infection. So that's how a lot of people get sick from it, and then it cuts off the oxygen. Because the lungs are trying to get more oxygen to your blood and everything. So it's hard for people to understand those kind of terms. And I have spent countless hours fighting with people on Facebook and the news and things like that. And it's like, I don't know what else to say to people to get out of their heads. So of course, people always come back saying, no, look it up. This is how it is, and guide them in the right direction. Look at the American Red Cross. Look at all of these organizations that are telling you that's not true. That's not happening. There's Starfish Aquatics is very big on trying to get the message out of there's no such thing as dry drowning. I'm actually going to a meeting today where a doctor is coming to talk to us about the terms of dry drownings and why people are saying that and why it's wrong. So it'll be a very interesting meeting today to listen to him speak. And he's got over 10,000 conferences and things like that. So it'll be very interesting to hear what he says.
Yeah, I would love to hear what he says. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep you updated.
Thank you.
Maybe I can record it or something. I'm sure Melissa will let me. So
yeah,
it'll be really neat. She's worked very hard to get him here, so we're very excited to have him. And I view his name because he is an amazing doctor, and people do have questions about it. They know who to reach out.
So do you know his name, the doctor?
I should have had all of this written down. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And you're doing it at 6 a.m. your time, so I'm impressed you're even conscious.
It doesn't say his name.
Well, it's all right. If you get the name, you can just come and leave it in the comment section, and people will have it.
Yeah, I'll definitely find it because I know Dr. Andrew Schmidt from Lifeguards Without Borders is who
cool.
it is.
Very
yeah,
nice.
So we're really excited to see him.
That's awesome. So do you work outside of drowning prevention, or do you do this kind of full time?
I was doing this full time, but I guess it is full time because I just recently started doing survival lessons, and I'm already helping doing some community outreach to physicians and OBGYNs. There's free CPR classes and stuff like that. So that way we can get parents as much protected as we can, because a lot of parents don't know how to do CPR, and that's something that you need to know. The ABCs of water safety is adult supervision areas and classes, including swimming, CPR classes, and just knowing these things. So that's pretty much a full-time water safety advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're the vice president of the Drowning Prevention Coalition, right? Of Arizona.
Yes. Yes.
So what is your
very proud.
what is your not your day, but what is your role with as vice president of the coalition entail? What do you do with them?
I just go to as many water safety events as I can. I also have created a support group for families. We have an online support group on Facebook that's closed, so that way families can share things and we can see them. And then we try to do once-a-month peer support groups. And when it does happen to a family, I let them know that we're here for them, and we can make care baskets, do meal trains for the families if they want a candlelight ritual or balloon release or something like that to honor their child, just to let them know that their child did live and they do mean something to everyone, no matter what, and just give them as much comfort as we can.
One more thing, if you want to add something to that, I don't know if you know, but we have a program called the Save a Life program, where any family who's experienced a fatal or non-fatal drowning, we donate a pool fence to that family.
Okay.
And that's the fence. That's a fence and the installation and the whole thing's at no charge. And we actually don't donate as many as we would like. So we're always looking for more people who are qualified that can receive a fence. So.
Okay, yes, I would love to know more information about that, because we did just have a drowning about a week last Saturday, and luckily the child is okay, but they didn't have a pool fence, and that's what you hear a lot of the times. People think pool fences are ugly or something, so they don't put them up until something like this happens, and then they're like, oh, I guess I need a pool fence. There's a reason why. So it gives the parents comfort too. If they stay at home to know that they put something up to at least prevent another one from it happening.
Yeah, so that family would be a perfect candidate for the Save a Life program. So if you're in touch with them, or you want to, we can send them some info and you can get it to them. We'd be happy to donate a fence to them.
Okay, I'll definitely get in contact with them because they would absolutely appreciate that. It really scared them, so I know that would help the grandmother a lot. And the thing is, too, is that pool fences are so expensive. I've been in the process of getting mine changed, and it's like $4,000 to get mine completely reinstalled. So a lot of people can't afford that. It's crazy that pool fence companies charge that much. I just want to find a way to help people be able to get a pool fence because they are extremely expensive.
Yeah, I mean, we, as a company that sells pool fences, we try to do, the best we can to get it, to come up with a solution that works for everybody. So, there's almost always a way to either find a layout or a model or some kind of solution that is affordable for almost everybody. And I think we do a pretty decent job. I mean, if someone owns a home and a pool, chances are we can figure out, a way to get them a pool fence that will at least get the job done, that is affordable. We try really hard to make that happen for people,
And that's the important thing is, as long as there's some type of barrier.
But you personally, obviously, would be a candidate for the program too. So if you're trying to get a pool fence for yourself, let us know and we'll take care of that for you.
Thank you very much. And I'll keep that in mind.
So it's already been a half hour, and I know that you have little kids that you probably have to start thinking about. Is there anything that you want to share with people before we go?
I would just like people to know that before, especially families that have gone through this, you're not alone. And Families United was amazing, and you will honestly some incredible families, some coming family, and the parents out there that are watching. Just never think that you know that you're doing a good job, because it can happen in just a second. Your arm is like silent. So just do whatever you can to protect your child, because it's the worst thing in the world. You wake up and you can't give your baby a hug that they're gone.
All right,
and
perfect.
when it was something that was preventable.
Thank you so much for that, and for taking the time to talk to me today. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm sure that anybody who watches this will, take the necessary steps to install the proper layers of protection in their pool. So I would say that there are going to be pools made safer because of you talking today. So I think that's important.
Well, thank you very much too for helping me spread the message and helping all of us spread the message. And I hope that it does help people, and it doesn't. So I'm grateful for doing this with you. It's hard to do, but I'm just thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Jessica. And like I said, be in touch with me about that fence. We'll get it taken care of for you.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So that was Jessica. We're going to have Alyssa actually in like 2 hours at 11:30. So I will see you guys then, and I can try and end this. Thanks so much.